Las Vegas was an incredible show. There we saw Kraig Parsons grab Racing Championship number 3 in a rematch against rival Josh Tonkin, while Kathy Winston took the Dubby Freestyle Championship, her first win of the season. Tonight we kick off round 5 of competition in Houston, Texas. Can Velociraptor keep his streak going? This is the Rigs of Rod semi-realistic points series. This is Monster Jam! Hello everybody and welcome back to the Rorsrps channel. My name is Preston Vieira and we are back on the biggest and baddest tour looking for 2 more champions here in Houston, Texas. We're back at NRG Stadium tonight, making a return to this fan favorite venue after over a year apart. Houston brought us one of the many great shows from season 1 and I'm very excited to see if we can go 2 for 2. Let's watch how things turn out tonight as we kick things off with a look at our Dubby Racing bracket. Kicking off the Dubby Racing competition is Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor, your reigning racing champion right now, taking on Joe Dennis in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Mark Colineri in Working Class is going to take on Bryce Eagan in War Machine. Ewan Ford in Soldier Fortune Black Ops is going to take on Chad Tingler in Venom. Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents is going Meents for Meents in round 1, taking on Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger is going to take on Pro Bowler 278 in Predator, followed by Koehler in Monster Mutt making his sub debut, taking on Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger. Alfredo Moya in Dragon is going to take on Noah Brady in Gunslinger, and finishing off round 1, it's Cameron Landry in the Lucas Oil Crusader facing off head-to-head against Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki. A great lineup here in racing. I'm excited to see how the sub can do tonight here on the biggest and baddest tour. But kicking off our night, our first 2 opponents are hitting the track. Joe Dennis in Spider-Man Miles Morales on your left, taking on Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor on your right. Joe Dennis is struggling in points and, more specifically, struggling in racing. He's doing pretty well nowadays in the freestyle competition. He is improving, but in racing, he is still struggling on this style of layout. The past 2 times we've seen this style of layout, he has rolled it in racing. One of those ending up in a DNF, which got him 0 points. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor, on the other hand, has gone 3 for 3 the past 3 shows. He's 3 out of 4 for the season. Let's see how he does here in round 1 tonight as we launch off of that starting line and into the berm. Joe Dennis keeping it together in the berm, does clip that little landing pad on the way out of the turn though. But these 2 are pretty close here. Joe Dennis keeping up with the 3-time racing champion as we come around that final turn over the line. Wow! That was way closer than I expected. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor does come out on top, but that had to be by a tire tread. Joe Dennis, what a way to enter into Houston. He is coming out on a good note, and he wants to bring that energy into freestyle. Unable to make it to round 2, but he is going to be in freestyle. Bryce Eagan in War Machine coming out next on your left. He's taking on Mark Colineri in Working Class. Mark has been in the semifinals before, more specifically in Seattle, which is a very, very similar racing layout to what we are seeing tonight. Can he do it again is the question. Taking on Bryce Eagan in War Machine. Launching off of that starting line, Bryce Eagan looking to keep it on all 4s as he faces off against Mark Colineri. Mark Colineri in trouble this time. Big bobble in the berm as we head around that second turn. Bryce Eagan with the lead. Is he going to hold on to it until the end? Around that final turn we go. Mark Colineri just too far behind tonight, not making it out of round 1. Bryce Eagan in War Machine on to round 2 tonight. What a night for Bryce Eagan, taking out his kind of rival from what we saw in Seattle. Bryce Eagan went hard in round 2 and ended up rolling the truck, taking on Mark Colineri. Tonight, it's Bryce Eagan. On to the next one. Ewan Ford in Soldier Fortune Black Ops coming out next on your right. He'll be taking on Chad Tingler in Venom. On your left, Chad Tingler has yet to make it out of round 1 of racing so far this season. Ewan Ford, on the other hand, has made it to the Dubby final round once, which means he's made it to the semifinals twice so far this season. We'll see how he does here tonight as we launch off of that starting line and into the berm. Ewan Ford picking up that left rear through the berm, but it doesn't get him into too much trouble. They are essentially neck and neck as Ewan Ford has a slow second turn. Chad Tingler in the lead tonight. Around it we go, and Chad Tingler is on to round 2, knocking out the one-time Dubby finalist, Chad Tingler. Moving on tonight, nicely done. This may be the turning point in his season. We are officially halfway through here in round 5. Can he keep this energy going for the rest of the night and potentially for the rest of the season? Making his return to the track after a substitution, though, it's Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. We'll see if he can keep that thing off of the dumpsters tonight, taking on Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents. This is Meents chassis versus Meents chassis. Of course, that Bob and Tom truck, Willman more specifically, and the Team Meents truck, a Meents sort of hybrid Willman style chassis. But off the starting line we go and headed into the berm. Who is going to come out better? Looks like Drew Austin and Bob and Tom has the lead. Tevin Maxwell, no slouch, but Bob and Tom may have the edge on that Team Meents truck right now. Heading into the final turn, it is very close, a little wide from Drew Austin to the line. It is Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents. Heading into round 2 as Drew Austin keeps it off of the barriers here with a beautiful momentum stoppie. Nicely done, keeping that truck in control and off of the barriers for essentially the first time this season. We didn't see him in Vegas. He didn't have a chance to get up on the dumpsters, but here in Houston, he's doing well so far. Can he keep that energy in freestyle is the question. Josh Tonkin in Son Uva Digger coming out on your right. He'll be taking on Pro Bowler 278 in Predator. Classic versus new school coming to the track. Of course, this is the sort of newest version of Predator that we do have. This is a 2018 with those BKTs on it, but the classic household name going against one of the newer household names as we launch off of that starting line and heading around the berm. It's pretty close so far. Josh Tonkin does have a lead through this first turn, and he is going to hold it as Pro Bowler 278 does struggle a little bit coming out of that second turn. And over the line, it is going to be close, but not close enough for Pro Bowler. Josh Tonkin in Son Uva Digger is on to round 2 tonight. Nicely done as he's going freestyling a little bit, trying to get that truck spun around and head back to the pits. Pro Bowler will be back in freestyle, but as for racing, he is done. Next out on the track is Aiden Wegner in that Green Ghost Gravedigger, bringing it back for Season 2. And Chris Koehler in Monster Mutt also coming back for Season 2. This is the second time he has been a sub on the ROR SRPS channel. He was once again unable to make it into the main field bracket, but he is here as a sub looking to make his mark. Can he do it in racing? Taking on Aiden Wegner as we launch off of the starting line and into the berm. Both trucks getting really high with those rear tires up on that berm. Chris Koehler struggling a little bit on the entry. Aiden Wegner looking good through that second turn. Who is going to come out on top? It's still anyone's race here. Coming to the line is very close, but it is going to be Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger. Chris Koehler almost getting one of those momentum stoppies, trying to get on the brakes there. But Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger on to round 2 tonight. Chris Koehler, solid effort, keeping up with the one-time freestyle champion. Can he keep that energy going into round 2 is the question. Alfredo Moya in Dragon coming out next on your right, taking on Noah Brady in Gunslinger. Two races away, from the end of round 1. Who will come out on top here? Noah Brady, we've talked about it before, struggles with this truck, but in Vegas we saw him do well. Can he do better tonight and ensure that spot in round 2? Alfredo Moya is a tough draw in round 1. Beautifully done through the berm from Noah Brady, though. Coming around that second turn is Noah Brady, who's tighter, but a big slide sends him into the launch ramp there in the turn. And coming around that final turn, it does look like Alfredo Moya is gonna hold it. But look how close they were when it comes down to the finish line. Noah Brady stepping it up in the racing competition, still making mistakes. But there is a learning curve to any driver, a process of getting better. Noah Brady well into that process, looking good against one of the tougher drivers on the track. Cameron Landry and Lucas Oil Crusader coming out next on your right. He'll be taking on Kathy Winston and Team Suzuki, 2 one-time freestyle champions. Heading to the track now, Cameron Landry, of course, in Anaheim. Kathy Winston, just last show in Las Vegas. Both of them are pretty solid racers. Both of them want a racing championship. We'll see how they do as we launch off of the starting line to close out round 1. Looking great through the berm. Both drivers, Cameron Landry looks to have a slight lead, maybe. Little wide on the turn from Kathy Winston. Around to the final turn, though. Cameron Landry in the lead. And yes, to the line, he is gonna hold it. Cameron Landry and Lucas Oil Crusader. Kathy Winston putting in some moves at the end there, coming back a little bit, but by inches here in round 1, it is gonna be Cameron Landry. On to the next one. But if you guys are enjoying tonight's show, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know in a comment down below and leave a like for me. It really does help out the channel. Also, check out the RORSRPS Instagram for all kinds of extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. And check the description because we now have an RORSRPS store. We got some stickers. We don't have much, but we got some lock screens. Some are free, some are $1. You know, if you're feeling anything, feel free, man. Check it out. RORSRPS store in the description. Velociraptor is going to be taking on War Machine to kick off round 2, followed by Venom versus Team Meents, Son Uva Digger versus Gravedigger, and Dragon will be taking on Lucas Oil Crusader. The 2 diggers here on Biggest and Baddest Tour facing off this round. That's pretty interesting. And heading onto the track now, though, it's Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor taking on Bryce Eagan in War Machine. Again, this is a 3-time Dubby Racing champion hitting the track right now on your right. He wants to keep this momentum going. Bryce Eagan has yet to do it, but he has been in the semifinals before. Can he do it again as we launch off of the starting line and into the berm? Kraig Parsons in trouble. Bryce Eagan not the cleanest either. Kraig Parsons is all over the place after the berm right now. Bryce Eagan may have this one in the bag tonight. Coming around that final turn, he's out wide. Kraig Parsons too tight. Oh my goodness, to the line. It was again very close, but Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor is on to the semifinals, knocking out Bryce Eagan. A very close race, and he's gonna celebrate with a little bit of a bicycle there. Bryce Eagan unable to get it done tonight. Super close against the 3-time racing champion. Well done. But next out on the track, it's Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents facing off against Chad Tingler in Venom. Both of these guys looking for their first Dubby Racing championship this season. Team Meents, one of the faster trucks, I would say, just struggles to get out of round 2. Can he do it tonight? We'll see here as we head into the berm. Big bobble from Tevin Maxwell and Team Meents. Chad Tingler is on a rail tonight. As he heads around that second turn, it looks like Tevin Maxwell may be out of this racing competition in round 2 once again. And yes, around that final turn, Chad Tingler in Venom gets it done once again. Tevin Maxwell, a solid effort. He gives it his all every time in round 2, but he may be overdriving the truck. He may get the pressure on. He's trying to break that round 2 curse, and it just doesn't happen for him every time. Josh Tonkin coming out next in Son Uva Digger on your right. He'll be taking on Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger. The Digger boys taking each other on here in round 2. Who will come out on top? Son Uva Digger has a racing championship under his belt from Seattle, and he has been a multiple-time semifinalist 2 times since Seattle. We'll see how he does here, launching off of that starting line and into the berm. Not a bad turn from Aiden Wegner. Seems to be bouncing around a little on the exit, which does put him behind right now. Josh Tonkin headed first into the final turn, and that is not what you want. If you are Aiden Wegner in that Gravedigger truck over the line, it is Josh Tonkin in Son Uva Digger taking another semifinal placement. Velociraptor and Son Uva Digger are both into the semifinal round, which means there is a possibility that this new rivalry could face off once again. Will it happen, or will Alfredo, Moya, and Dragon get a shot? Cameron Landry, an equal opportunity at the shot for the Dubby final round. Cameron Landry, not a bad racer at all, made it up into the semifinals in Seattle. Hasn't been back there since, but did make it up into round 2 in Vegas. Not that that's a huge deal, but he got burned in round 2 last time. He wants to do better this time. Off the line we go and into the berm. Who is going to take it to the finish line? Cameron Landry clips that landing obstacle on the way out of the berm. That is not a good sign. He is all over the place trying to get that truck where he needs it to get the win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen around that final turn to the line. It is Alfredo Moya in Dragon again. Another pretty close race. Oh, Cameron Landry goes for a little bit of a ride there and goes over after the finish line. Cameron Landry out here in round 2 as Alfredo Moya celebrates with a single donut. Let's take a look at the semifinal bracket here. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor is going to take on Chad Tingler in Venom. Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger is going to face off once again against Alfredo Moya in Dragon. They've had many semifinals face-offs, and it has so far always been Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger. Can we switch that up tonight? Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor coming out on your right, taking on Chad Tingler in Venom. This is the first time these two have faced off in the semifinal round. Can Chad Tingler get it done here in Houston, Texas, finally getting his shot at the Dubby final round? See how it goes here as we launch off of this starting line to kick off the semifinals. Into the first turn, looking good for both of these drivers until the exit. Chad Tingler bouncing around a little bit. We just saw that hurt Aiden Wegner. Can he come back? They are pretty neck and neck here heading into the final turn. Great turn from both drivers. It's close to the line, but it is not close enough for Chad Tingler. He's in trouble. Oh my goodness, what a save. Kraig Parsons and Velociraptor on to the Dubby final round once again. One step closer to his 4th Dubby Racing Championship this season. Can he get it done? We gotta see who comes out of this one. Alfredo Moya in Dragon coming out on your left, taking on Josh Tonkin in Son Uva Digger. Josh Tonkin, I mentioned, a one-time racing champion and a 2-time runner-up to the Dubby Racing Championship. He wants another championship tonight. Alfredo Moya needs his first coming into the berm. Who's going to come out on top tonight? Beautiful turns from both of these drivers. Does look like Josh Tonkin's in the lead, but a big slide through the first turn. He does have some heat heading into the straightaway, though. He does make up the ground. Coming around that final turn, it is close to the line. It is gonna be Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger. Once again, we are getting another rematch of Velociraptor versus Son Uva Digger. Kraig Parsons taking on Josh Tonkin once again in that final round. Let's take a look how things shaked out tonight. What an incredible bracket and what an incredible rivalry that we are building here in Season 2. Velociraptor versus Son Uva Digger in your Dubby final round. It is here. It is time. Josh Tonkin, Son Uva Digger on your left, taking on Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor on your right. These two are amped, and if you want to get amped, check out Dubby Energy, the channel partner. You can get 10% off using code RORSRPS at checkout only on Dubby.gg on the internet. Check them out, guys. They have some delicious, clean, jitterless energy. I did make another purchase with some new flavors. I did get Beach and Peach, and I did get the Calio Cream flavor. So I'm very excited to give that one a shot. You guys should too, and use code RORSRPS at checkout. You'll get 10% off. And they are delicious, man. Everything is worth a shot once. Give them a try. Dubby.gg. But here we go, launching off of the starting line for the Dubby final round. Headed into the berm. Beautifully done for both of these drivers. It does look like Josh Tonkin is out wide. Kraig Parsons with a bobble in the second turn, though. Coming to the line. This is close once again. Around that final turn. Looking good for Josh Tonkin, but it is gonna be Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor who manages to come back in the air. I saw the speed he was taking over that jump, and I had to stare at the finish line. But yes, when it comes down to it, the second pair of eyes do agree. It is Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor heading into the winner's circle once again, getting his 4th Dubby Racing Championship. Once again, knocking out Josh Tonkin. Josh has to be irritated, especially since it was so close this week. What a final race, and what a competition and a rivalry that is brewing between these two drivers. Kraig Parsons, once again, coming out on top here in Houston. He is dominating the season when it comes to the Dubby Racing competition. Let's see how long he can keep this up. Son Uva Digger still holds the points lead right now with 91. Velociraptor down by 9 with 82. Dragon 77, and Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki ends up with 61. Gravedigger also tied with 61. Mark Colineri in working class with 56. Soldier Fortune Black Ops 54. And Team Meents with 53. Very tightly packed here in the 50s. Good competition going on also with Cameron Landry and Lucas Oil Crusader with 50. Venom, Chad Tingler, 48. War Machine Bryce Eagan with 47. And Noah Brady in Gunslinger with 36. Bob and Tom, 34. Predator, Pro Bowler 278 with 31 points. Spider-Man Miles Morales with 19. And Chris Koehler kicks off his sub appearance with 2 points going out in round 1. He does have a shot in freestyle to make up some more points though. But if you guys enjoyed tonight's racing competition, we got new episodes every Saturday, so hit that subscribe button. We ain't going anywhere. We got 10 rounds of 3 tours competition coming at you soon. So we got a long way to go through the season. Also check out the ROR SRPS Instagram for all kinds of extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. And check out our all-new ROR SRPS store that will be linked in the description below. Also, be sure to check out the channel partner Dubby, 10% off using code RORSRPS at checkout. Any flavor, anytime, anywhere, only at dubby.gg. They are delicious, guys. Good, clean energy. None of the maltodextrin, no added sweeteners, nothing like that. Just delicious, delicious flavors, good energy, and they also have some caffeine-free hydration powders that are delicious as well. And they got new canned flavors. Calio Cream comes canned and carbonated, as well as Strawberry Banana. They sound good to me, man. I'm excited to show you guys my reaction to the Calio Cream flavor. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got more action coming at you in just a minute with the Dubby freestyle competition. Stick around. I'll see you there.